You know what a song just, like, totally gets you, like, deep down? That's Ana Torroja for me, always has been.
Yeah.
She's iconic, Spanish music, obviously.
Absolutely.
And there's a reason her work just, it hits you right in the feels.
Right in the feels.
You know?
Yeah.
And we're going to unpack that a bit today.
Okay.
Using this fascinating analysis we found of her work through kind of the lens of the Enneagram.
Okay.
Now, before anyone listening thinks, oh, this is personality test stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, we're not trying to, like, put on it in a box. Is that?
Not at all. No.
Yeah,
No.
you're thinking.
It's more like a framework.
Yeah.
I would say.
Huh?
To help understand,
Right.
the deeper motivations, behind her work, especially someone like her, an artist,
Okay.
you know.
So for this deep dive, the analysis focuses on Enneagram Type 4, sometimes called the individualist, sometimes the romantic, but specifically the social 4 subtype. So what makes them tick?
Well, I mean, imagine someone who's, deeply connected to their emotions, constantly searching for authenticity.
Right.
They feel things very deeply,
Yeah.
often very intensely. And so often their art becomes the bridge to connect with a world where they often feel different.
Okay.
And it's not about being different for attention or,
Right.
anything like that. It's just that there's this deep need to express their true selves, which naturally can make them stand out.
Which totally tracks with Torroja. I mean, her music is known for its emotional depth.
Absolutely.
I mean, you listen to a song like Me Cuesta Tanto Olvidarte, and the lyrics, the melody, it's all about just the raw ache of, like, heartbreak.
Totally.
And then you have a song like Mujer contra Mujer,
Yeah.
which tackles these, more complex emotions around love and societal norms and acceptance, all wrapped up in this, like, incredibly moving melody. It's like she's giving voice to the things that I think we all feel, but maybe don't always have the words for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And she's
Yes.
tapping into these really universal themes.
Yeah.
Love, loss, longing, but from this incredibly personal, vulnerable place.
Yeah.
And that's a real hallmark of the social 4,
Okay.
using their art to explore those universal experiences through their own very specific lens, And it becomes a way to connect.
Yeah.
To say, like, I see you, I feel you, I'm here with you.
It's so true. I've always found her music so relatable, but I never really understood why. Like, this is making so much sense.
Yeah.
And it's interesting you bring up that, social 4s often feel different because there's also this desire to belong.
Yeah.
How do those two seemingly contradictory things coexist?
Yeah.
Especially for someone, in the public eye, like Torroja.
It's like, it's almost like they're trying to find their tribe,
Right.
The people who really get them, who see them for who they truly are.
Yeah.
And for the social 4, that authenticity is just, it's paramount. It's not about fitting in. It's not about standing out for the sake of it,
Right.
but rather about letting that inner compass really guide them.
I love that. And that really comes through in Torroja's career, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
I mean, think about how her style has evolved, even just visually over the years.
Yeah.
Her hair, her fashion choices, it's always been so distinctly her.
Yeah.
She's not afraid to experiment, but it always feels authentic.
Right.
Like an authentic expression of her.
It's not about chasing trends.
Right. Exactly.
It's about...
It's coming from within.
Exactly. And what's so fascinating is that even with her level of fame, she's maintained a certain privacy in her personal life.
Right.
It's not about being a recluse or anything.
Right.
But it's about choosing where to put the focus.
Yeah.
She wants us to connect with the art, with those raw emotions she pours into it.
Yeah.
Not necessarily with, the day-to-day of her life.
You're right. There's something really powerful about that, especially in an industry that so often pressures artists, women especially, to fit a certain mold.
Totally.
She's basically saying, like, this is me, this is my art, Connect with it on its own terms.
Take it or leave it, yeah.
It's almost like a quiet rebellion in a way.
It really is.
Which I kind of love.
And this ties into another, I think, really key aspect of the social 4 that we see so clearly in Torroja's work.
Okay.
Which is this idea of, sublimating sorrow into art.
Ooh, I like that.
Type 4s, they don't shy away from difficult emotions.
Right.
They kind of lean into the pain. They find the beauty in those cracks and then transform that into something meaningful.
And isn't that ultimately what resonates so deeply with her fans? That rawness, that vulnerability. It's like she's giving us permission to feel our own emotions more deeply. Because let's face it, heartbreak, longing even, a touch of melancholy. I mean, these are all part of the human experience.
That part of life, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And she explores those themes so beautifully in songs like, Un Año Más, for example. There's this real wistfulness there, this longing for what was,
Yeah.
but also this acceptance of time passing.
Right.
It's not about, just wallowing in sadness,
Yeah.
but rather about acknowledging the bittersweet nature of life. And that's something I think we can all relate to.
It's funny because I used to think some of her songs were just like, oh, sad. Yeah. But hearing you explain it, it's like a light bulb went off.
Yeah.
It's not about glorifying sadness.
Right.
It's about finding the beauty and the meaning in those like difficult emotions.
Exactly, yeah.
That's such a good distinction.
It's about catharsis, both for the artist and for the listener.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that you're not alone in these feelings.
Okay, get ready for this, because the source actually compares Torroja to Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh.
Fully. I know, right?
Okay, I have to admit, at first I was like, what?
It seems like a total left field comparison.
It does?
But trust me, it actually makes a lot of sense when you think about it through the lens of the social four.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Eeyore.
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 All right, I'm ready. Lay it on me.
Okay, so think about Eeyore for a second, right? He's deeply sensitive, prone to melancholy, always feels a bit different, misunderstood.
Okay.
Kind of sounds like our social four a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And here's where I think the comparison gets really interesting. Both Eeyore in his own way and Torroja through her music, they're both on this quest for meaning.
Okay.
Eeyore with his, quiet observations of the world, Torroja, by exploring these really complex emotions through her art.
Wow. Yeah, when you put it like that, it really does make sense. It's like they both kind of they embrace the melancholy, the shadows.
They do.
And somehow it makes it okay for us to do the same.
Right, exactly.
Like we're allowed to feel those things deeply.
You're allowed to go there.
Yeah.
And I think that's why her music resonates with so many people.
Yeah.
It's not just that it's beautiful music, but it's like a reflection of a certain way of experiencing the world.
Right.
Social Four's world. And in sharing that, she creates this space for her listeners to connect with their own emotions, to find solace, to find understanding.
Yeah, it's like she's saying, hey, it's okay. It's okay to feel things deeply. It's okay to be different. It's in those differences that we often find our greatest strengths and our connections.
Totally. And that's the beauty of using something like the Enneagram as a tool for understanding art.
Yeah.
It's not about putting people in boxes.
Right.
But it's about having maybe a new framework to appreciate the why behind the art that we connect with. Why do certain themes resonate? Why do we feel so seen by certain artists?
Right.
It adds this whole other layer to the experience.
Totally. It's like you're privy to this like secret language.
Yeah.
This deeper understanding of their motivations and how they see the world.
Absolutely.
It makes you appreciate it on a whole other level.
Totally.
I love that.
And it can even make you think about your own connections.
Right.
Your own why.
Yes.
If her music, born from this specific Enneagram type, resonates with you, what does that say about you?
Yeah.
What does that say about how you experience the world, the things you find meaningful?
It's a good question. A lot to think about.
It's a fascinating thing to ponder.
It is. I'm going to be thinking of this for a while.
Yeah.
I feel like we've gone beyond just like analyzing her music. We've tapped into something much larger about like the human experience, about the power of art to connect us, and the different ways we find meaning in the world.
And isn't that what it's all about?
I think so.
The power of art to make us feel a little less alone, a little more understood.
Yeah.
And if this conversation has maybe sparked your curiosity even a little bit, I encourage you to, explore Torroja's music further, see what resonates with you.
Yeah.
You might be surprised.
I love that. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the music and motivations of Ana Torroja, I'm left with a renewed appreciation for her artistry and honestly a deeper understanding of the power of the Enneagram to unlock these new layers of meaning in the art we love. So until next time. Keep exploring, keep connecting, and keep diving deep into the things that move you.